If you were to think about a business you wanted to invest in, a good way to go about this process is to think about trends in business. And this is the best way I know to identify what businesses are in an uptrend going into the future. All boats rise in a high tide, so it is prudent to think about going into businesses where the tide is rising or set to rise in the not too distant future. At the same time, you can avoid a lot of heartache by avoiding businesses which are going against this rising tide. These types of businesses need a different strategy, which is beyond our efforts at this moment. So anyway, the reason the following information can answer this question of where the tides are rising, even in the absence of having a crystal ball, is because it introduces us immediately to a phenomenon called the baby boomer bubble. This bulge in the population that were born between the years 1945 and 1960, that is a 15-year period called the baby boom bubble. And the birth rate was so high during that period relative to the years before, during the Second World War, and the years after that period, which were the post-baby boom period, the birth rate dropped again. So we have this huge bubble of people between the ages that fit within that 15-year period. And as that 15-year period kind of snaked along through the years, that huge bulge, like a swallowed mouse moving through a snake, has incorporated different age groups. For example, there was a time when people of that age group were teenagers. It's no accident, all of a sudden jeans became in vogue. And then they were in their 20s, and then in their 30s and 40s. And now these people are in their 50s and 60s. As they moved through the age groups, different things became important to them, and they became buyers of those things that they did not buy in the age they were previously. So as they got older, they stopped buying things they bought before. Right now, there is a term called downsizing, which has become popular in the home market, for example. A keen observer will probably realize, as the baby boomers are now in their 50s and 60s, children have left home, the homes they buy will not need to be as large as they used to buy them in their late 20s, 30s and 40s. A simple enough observation, and by paying attention to the population numbers, it's easier to see the trend. The choices baby boomers make affect every part of society. The clothes they wear, the food they buy, it affects whether or not they are buyers of healthcare or not. If you know the age of the baby boomers now, and you know what they are buying less of, say, in the next 15 years than they used to, then you'll be able to kind of figure out what they're set to buy a lot of in the future. So moving from not buying larger homes to downsizing. So right now, you'll know that the home market will appear like, or the larger home market will appear like it's in decline. As you know, what they will be buying a lot more of in the next 15 years, because they are 10 or 15 years older, then you can predict with a high degree of accuracy what is going to be a growth industry going forward. A great example is healthcare services. We can all say without any doubt is going to be a huge industry. A mortician, at the risk of sounding morbid, is going to clean up over the next 15 years, no pun intended. Use your imagination. Start to think of your parents if you are a baby boomer. What are your parents buying a lot of now as a part of their money? I can guarantee to you, over the next 15 years, this is going to be a big factor in the economy. The main point is to see the pattern, to notice the trend. So you start with an industry or niche that is right for you, passion-wise, to invest in, and then try to see where it fits, if ever, in the baby boom trend. This is where your golden opportunities lie if you choose to follow them.